It's May, so you know that means it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and most people are just now becoming comfortable with the idea of talking about their mental health. In many of our communities, mental health was and still is a form of taboo. It's just something we don't talk about. But luckily, times are changing and people are becoming more vulnerable with their struggles. And one of these struggles is depression. It's one thing to struggle with it, but it's a whole other thing to have a partner who may be dealing with it. But how do you know if your partner is depressed? By the end of this video, you'll be able to identify some signs that your partner may be struggling with depression. Let's jump in. Welcome to the Own Your Ship podcast, a program designed to share practical ways you can own your mess in your relationship today. I'm your host, Mel Walker. Let's dive in. Hi guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Own Your Ship podcast. If this is your first time tuning into one of my shows, I am Mel Walker and I teach individuals just like you how to have healthy relationships by being better versions of themselves. Why? Because you attract what you are and what you fear. If you've watched a few of my episodes already and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscription button to officially become a part of the family. Let me preface this video by saying I am not a licensed therapist and this podcast episode should not be used to replace therapy. I'm here to have a healthy conversation about depression and how we can potentially identify some of the signs. All right, so unfortunately, depression is a common mental health issue that's been plaguing our community for a long time. And because this ailment isn't physical, like a broken arm or a heart murmur, we can't always identify when someone is struggling with depression. Now, some people think that depression means that a person just walks around being sad all the time. But the truth is that depression can show up in a whole lot of different ways. So more often than none, some individuals that suffer from depression don't make it known. They appear to be happy and successful, and they usually don't show any signs of depression until something really major happens. These people are sometimes said to have high functioning depression or hidden depression or even what they call smiling depression. If you believe that your partner may be struggling with depression, here are a few things that I want you to look out for. First thing, they may start to feel their emotions very deeply. So has your partner become very hostile or verbally aggressive over a simple question or a comment? People who struggle with depression usually feel things on a deeper level because they tend to bottle up their emotions on the inside. After a while, all that boils up and bubbles over. They can cry, yell, or even have an emotional meltdown. But on the other end of the spectrum, they can become extremely loving and affectionate, which is more than what they would normally show. Point number 2. Their mood swings may be swift and sudden. Sometimes depression will not just be sadness. There are times when it can show up as anger. Making time to do the things that mean a lot to them now become extremely difficult. They can't seem to suppress their rage, which usually leads to an explosion. Point number 3, they may have started to mess with drugs and alcohol more than they usually would. An excess of anything usually is a huge problem. So if your partner has become dependent on any of these things, this is a huge red flag and it's an indicator that something is wrong. The Anxiety and Depression Association of America expressed that 1 in every 5 person that struggle with depression has some kind of substance abuse issue. So that's something to pay attention to. Point number 4, they feel guilty about asking for help. In some cases, some depressed individuals can voice the issues that they have. The problem is that they dismiss it as something silly or they pretend like they were just fooling around. If they do get the courage to seriously ask for help, they profusely apologize because they believe they're doing something wrong. They believe that their issues are minor and they're just a burden to everyone that's around them. Point number 5, they become more pessimistic and negative. As the burdens of their struggles become heavier, they may develop negative thoughts that they may not know how to share. Just for the simple fact that they may feel that no one can or will ever understand what they're going through. In cases like this, they may want to keep to themselves with little or no interruptions. Point number 6, they want to be the best at everything. Now, believe it or not, some people who struggle with depression strive to be the best at everything that they do. This is an attempt to make them feel like they're worthy enough or for them to find meaning in their lives. This is just a distraction, and in the end, working hard won't be enough to keep them away from what's really going on. Point number 7, they don't have the energy to do anything. Is your partner usually outgoing, but now they want to just stay by themselves? Do they show up, but they consistently zone out? Do they struggle with remembering important information? Do they struggle to complete tasks? Do they become indecisive? These are some symptoms of depression. Do any of these symptoms sound familiar to you? If so, this is an opportunity for you to reach out to your partner and provide support in any way that you can. Please keep in mind that it may not be as easy to get through to your partner, and in that event, I would suggest to seek help from a licensed therapist. Now, because I want you and your partner to get the help that you both need, I partnered with onlinetherapy.com, a tool that's used to help you find the best therapist for your particular situation. You can find therapists that specialize in depression, anxiety, PTSD, you name it. You can find a therapist that has the expertise to handle anything. So when you use my link in the description, you'll get 20% off your first month of therapy when you pick a therapist with onlinetherapy.com. I really hope that this information has been able to help you. If you liked today's episode, be sure to subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell so that you won't miss any future episodes like this one. Take care.